In this special limited series, I'm taking you behind the curtain of the 2025 Bendigo Business Excellence Awards. Join me as I spotlight the winners of each category and discover what makes them truly exceptional.
Bendigo Theatre Company.
Vern is a committee member and veteran volunteer of the Bendigo Theatre Company, and they have taken out the Not-for-Profit Award. Vern, thanks for joining me in the studio to talk about Bendigo Theatre Company.
My pleasure.
So tell me, let's start with Bendigo Theatre Company. It is another Bendigo institution.
Yes.
Give me, for those who aren't familiar with the organisation itself and what you offer, it should be fairly self-explanatory, but tell me a bit about BTC.
Well, the history behind it was in 1950s there was a need seen for something along the lines of dramatic arts application. So the Bendigo Operatic Society was formed in 1953 and they've been running continuously since then. We just had a name change in the late 80s to Bendigo Theatre Company. And as the name implies, we're about theatre. We're about theatre for Bendigo and the surrounding areas. And what we do is we create and we provide and we give opportunities for people to be involved with theatre in Bendigo. And we showcase that through small plays. We showcase it in our own little theatre, which you would know a little bit about.
Yeah.
We also use other venues such as the Capitol, but mostly our big musicals we do in the Alumbra Theatre, like we did earlier this year with School of Rock.
Yeah, and wasn't that an epic show?
Oh, great show. And the kids were so talented.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking to some of the team about that. It's quite unique in that, you have kids actually needing to be really good at the instruments that they're acting with. They're actually playing those instruments.
Well, we sort of said that they had to be quadruple threats. That means they had to sing, act, dance, and play an instrument live on stage, and they did that really well. So it's just amazing.
It'd be pretty rewarding to see that kind of show come together.
Very rewarding. We had quite a long rehearsal period, but they came through in droves. Yeah, they were fantastic.
Love it. So tell me, Vern, what's your history been with the BTC and what position do you hold there now?
I'm on the committee at present. I've sort of had various positions on the committee over the years. I've sort of been involved for about 34 years now.
Wow.
So I came to Bendigo in early 1990s and sort of got dragged in to help out backstage, and sort of it just gradually grew from there. So, quite a long association now with the company. Some years I sort of dropped away a bit and then sort of back in again. But, I'm sort of pretty much involved with the background type aspects, set construction, set design, maintenance of the shed, running of the company, documentation, things like that, just in the background. That's my forte now, and
love it.
I'm sort of enjoying that sort of role.
Yeah, really good. How have you seen the company change over that period of time?
The company has changed significantly. When we think about our processes and our productions that we put on, they were great performances, but it's become a lot more competitive, a lot more professional looking. People expect that. People go to Melbourne and see professional shows. They want to see something similar in Bendigo. So just for example, the costs of our production to put it on in Alumbra have doubled probably in the last 15 years.
Yeah.
So that creates a need for not only good promotion, but we've also got to have very careful selection of our shows so that we get the audiences we need. We've also got to look at shows that we know we can cast and we can get a great number of people from Bendigo being involved with it. So, yeah.
Tell me about a few of the wins over the years, whether it be, particular talent coming through or whether it be shows that were sold out.
Well, I suppose we've got a couple of really good highlights. we have started what we call our alumni honour board. We have 12 names on that at present, but we're also looking at a whole list of people that in the future will be added to this. We're in a process of selection. But these alumni are people who we recognised had an association with our company, whether it was in a show or whether they were working backstage or they were part of the committee or organisation of some of the aspects of the show. And then they've gone on to a professional career. And we've got people who have appeared on Broadway. We've got a person that was part of our choreography team who has his own company and has been working in England, getting awards and creating innovative theatre in London and Europe. We've had some that have gone on to WAPA, to NIDA, to Vic Arts, Vic Arts.
Yep.
So we're very proud of our association with these people and that we've had some small step in their career move. It's really been pleasing.
Yeah.
Recently we did Wicked, a few years ago now, but we did Wicked and we were really very surprised and grateful. We actually received the most nominations and awards of any theatre company in Victoria at that time.
Wow.
We had 14 nominations and won 13 awards for Wicked.
What?
And it had a huge impact on our company. We just went, we really sort of outdid ourselves there for a small regional company, which we've got to recognise. We've only got a small population to draw from, 120,000, something like that for the area.
Yeah.
But to do that, we really were very, very pleased with the outcome.
Wow, that's amazing. Tell me about theatre companies in general and like what, for someone who doesn't know the landscape of how a theatre company operates or how many there might be out there, like what is the landscape, the wider landscape of theatre companies look like?
Well, in Bendigo itself, we're very pleased that we've got a number of companies. There's companies that deal just with youth. So you've got Nexus, and then we've got our own youth organisation as part of BTC, which is called Tribe Youth. There's a couple of other companies that also provide theatre for youth, Props Theatre, and I'm trying to think of the other. I can't think of the other name of them, but so we sort of sit within that group of people that provide theatre of some sort. There are other groups that are choirs and so on too, which are part of the arts landscape.
Yeah.
But we see ourselves as sort of being central for that. And being central, we're very lucky that we've got a central headquarters in an old army drill hall, which we've converted into a storage building space plus a little intimate 64-seat theatre. Yeah. And we feel that we're in that situation where we encourage and develop theatre right throughout our community. At the moment, we have 3 schools who are in the process of taking materials from us, set pieces, costumes, props and so on like that they're using. Curtains in the moment has got a whole lot of materials that they've produced at our shed and also some of our materials. So we're providing advice and support to other theatre groups within Bendigo and surrounding. We also hire to other theatre companies throughout Victoria. In fact, we actually had a hire not that long ago to a company in New South Wales. So
wow.
We are a resource for other theatre companies. But within the Bendigo landscape, we see ourselves, I suppose, as the premier theatre company, and we take great pride in that because we see that we're really helping to promote and encourage theatre right through our community. And we do it all via volunteers, hundreds of thousands of hours of volunteers.
Wow.
There are lots of other companies who are well supported through funding and so on because of the way that they are set up, and that's great, and we need that. but we're a non-profit organisation and we run it all on volunteers who give up not only organisational time but creative time, building time, meeting people that want to come and collect something, bring something back. There's groups of us going backwards and forwards all the time, every week.
Wow. Yeah, it's quite a power of work that goes into it.
It is a lot of work, yeah. And luckily some of us are in the situation where we're retired and can do that. But just this morning I had a phone call from our set, or he's actually our shed manager, a large piece of equipment that we've managed to get through a donation has just delivered, and it will enable us, because it's a electric lifting platform, we'll be able to do set work at height with a lot more safety rather than standing on ladders and so on. That's been just delivered, and then we've got at the same time another company are bringing back a whole lot of material later this afternoon. So it's just a very busy place sometimes.
It's all happening. Tell me, there's probably a couple of challenges that I could identify that the Bendigo Theatre Company would have had over the last couple of years particularly, and then over a larger span of time. One would be the drop that we've seen across the board in volunteerism.
Yes.
How has that affected Bendigo Theatre Company?
Oh, well, it's affected us in our volunteers are ageing. And we're not getting the younger ones coming through like we would love to have. We've just probably got to work harder at that. In some ways, we've got to promote ourselves more in the wider community. But yeah, volunteerism, it's affecting every group. We've got friends that are involved with service clubs and they're facing the same thing. Sporting clubs, the same thing. So I think we've just got to try and find ways that we can identify people, and we've got to make it friendly and conducive for them to want to come and help us, not just when they're children on stage, but maybe come and help us later on. And I know that there's quite a number of retired people, particularly ones with a little bit of building skill or a bit of organisational skill. We'd love to have them come and join us. We meet on Wednesday mornings. We call ourselves the Wednesday Club or Wednesday Boys. There's probably 10 retired people that come regularly, and we do set building and maintenance of the shed and so on. And then we force ourselves to have coffee afterwards. So
that'd be a hard slog.
Thing. Yeah, it's a hard slog.
Sounds good. The other challenge I would have suspected that you might have is the change that we've seen in the landscape of entertainment and how people expect to be entertained, right? And the options that people now have. It's not just go to the cinemas, go to the theatre, go to a gig, right? There's been a lot more opportunity for people to just sit at home. I mean, bit blasé, but sit at home and entertain themselves. Has that affected the theatre?
Oh, well, obviously things like home entertainment with streaming services as well as free-to-air, it has an effect. People also have sort of got out of the habit of going out during COVID, and that's taken a while for them to become, willing to go out again. They've been reluctant. That's been noticed all through our creative industries, particularly theatre though. Numbers in Melbourne, numbers here, we found that they dropped right away, and then we're sort of gradually building them back up again. Price of living too is also having an effect because people just haven't got that disposable income like they perhaps had in the past, and so they've got to make decisions about what will we go and see. Will we go and see this particular show? Or if I've seen that, do I go and see something from BTC?
Yeah, it's quite a competitive and challenging landscape, but I'm really impressed with the commitment to professionalism and excellence that I see the BTC have. I worked a little bit with BTC in the past with some TV advertising for a past show, and even back then, like that was probably 10 years ago plus now, but even then, the community of people that are committed to the excellence of their craft as amateurs
Yep.
is excellent.
Yeah. Well, I suppose we go into every show with the desire to make it as professional as we can. And we've got some very creative people who assist the company. We have Ian Scott, who's involved with our lighting design for most of our big shows, who's recognised throughout Victoria as a great young talent. And, you know, the lighting, as you would have seen in School of Rock, was outstanding. And he's been doing that for 10, 12 years with us. So we've got that sort of thing happening. With our show our big show we're doing in May next year, we've got Polyfillo, Colin, who's going to be involved with all of the creation of those amazing costumes for Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. That is going to be a big, big show.
Wow.
I think we're probably looking at 400 to 500 costumes for a show. So,
oh my goodness. Whew.
Okay, so we know what work we have to do, but that's our commitment. If we're going to do that show, we will do it justice and do it to make Bendigo proud of what we can still achieve. Yeah.
I love that. Let's talk about the awards process.
Yep.
What did it feel like getting nominated, and what made you as an organisation say, yeah, we're going to go through with an application?
Well, I'm going to take the blame for that. I sort of saw the awards coming out and I thought, well, I think we need to give ourselves a pat on the back. So I started the process. I spoke to the committee and with a group of us, we started the whole, submitting an application.
Yeah.
And then we got nominated and we went, oh, that's great. Okay, well, we thought maybe that's about as far as it'll go. But we were happy with the interview process that we then went through.
Yep.
And our president brought along a PowerPoint presentation to give highlights of our company and what we'd achieved and so on. But over our 74 years, 75 next year, we feel that we've achieved a lot for the Bendigo community, and we felt that it was worthy of putting our name forward for the award. And then when we got the award, well, it was a really big moment. We were very pleased.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the impact been throughout the organisation of winning the award?
Oh, I think it's been a real boost for the company and boost for the committee because, as I said, volunteers, sometimes you feel, we're just working away here and what's going to happen. And this gave us a real acknowledgement that we have contributed to the Bendigo community over 74 years. And it doesn't matter what show we were doing, we keep trying to do it to the best of our ability. And all of those 215 productions that we've put on have had their highlights and their achievements. So it's something to be proud of.
Yeah. What advice would you give to other community organisations that might be thinking, is this really worth doing?
I'd say any organisation, give it a try. I think there's two things that are really good about it. The first thing is the self-reflection. Make sure you take plenty of time to self-reflect. What exactly do we do? What do we do and why do we do it? And how well do we do it? So once you've done that self-reflection, you can then start to put together the application and say, well, this is something that we do and we do it really well. And then try and make it a succinct but strong answer to those particular questions about your company or your business and what you're doing. So that self-reflection is really very important. Plus, I think the other side of it is it's a real chance for, as an organisation, to really gel and clarify your goals, your values, your understandings, and why we're doing it. Yeah. And you get together as a group and you say, yep, we do that. We do this really well. That's really good that we do. Let's keep doing that. Yeah. And I think as an organisation, you need to go through that process very often, whether it's yearly or whatever, just as a way to continue to grow your organisation.
Yeah, it's really good, Vern, because that process in a team of people, it really unites. A team
Yep.
unites around a clear vision and values and what you're trying to achieve, the impact you're having on the world.
Yeah, yeah. It's that value added that you get from an organisation where you've got a group of people able to achieve a lot more than the sum of their own individual contributions.
Yeah.
That synergistic thing, as I call it, where 1 and 1 doesn't equal 2, because you've got a group of people you're able to achieve 4, 5 or 6
Yeah.
that you could never achieve just by your individual efforts.
Yeah.
So I think that's where we see the strength of not only sort of, I suppose, putting in an application, but as an organisation, just viewing that and saying, yeah, this is what we can achieve as a group, and what, the sky's the limit sometimes almost.
It is. The BTC been around for 75 years. What's the next step in the evolution of the company?
Well, I think that, we continue to do what we're doing, but, there's new things coming out all the time as far as the way in which theatre is produced, the way in which the shows that we decide to do. I think the future for theatre looks amazing, because some of the new shows that they're now bringing out are going to be very exciting for Bendigo audiences to see. I think that we just need to continue to evolve as an organisation and try to again bring in our volunteers to assist us, to keep the community engaged in what we're doing. We need to do, there's some challenges too, because we're finding, for example, if we put on something at Alumbra, if we can meet our costs, we're going really well.
Wow, really?
And the costs are escalating all the time. We are getting assistance through various organisations, whether that's the Alumbra Foundation or BBEA at times and so on. We do recognise that. But to put on the professional type shows that we want to put on Alumbra is a real challenge.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to really work hard to try and meet those financial needs that come with a big show like that.
Yeah.
We're talking 100,000 plus every time we put on a big show there.
Wow.
Well and truly over that.
Wow.
Okay. And
That's
we
a fair
have to
challenge.
we have to do that through voluntary, our voluntary fundraising, and
That's wild.
if we were paying wages and so on, it'd be just out of the ballpark.
Wow. So that's quite an achievement that you're able to actually deliver those shows, and there's probably some creative thinking about financial sustainability and how you're going to be able to meet that.
Yeah, well, we've got to look very carefully at that. Luckily, we're in a situation where we're able to put on shows in our own little theatre that generate funds for us and help run the company. And they also provide us with some fundraising or some funds that help offset our big musicals. But we've got to be very careful with that, because, we've got a financial what's the word I'm
Obligation.
looking for? Obligation, to our members,
Yeah.
to ensure that the company continues to be financial, and so that's a bit of a challenge.
Yeah, it will be, but I have no doubt that you've got the people around the table and to be able to meet that challenge and tackle it head on.
We're very lucky at the moment. We've got a really good committee which has a good mix of experienced people and younger ones, and that's really good, because succession planning is very important for all organisations, particularly ours. That we've got people coming through who gain experience and then take over the reins of the company.
Vern, thanks for spending some time with me and sharing a tiny slice of the story of VTC and your experience with the awards. It's been an honour.
Well, thank you. I hope it's been of interest.
Hey, thanks so much for tuning into this episode as part of the limited series Team Up with Bendigo and Hebron Films, featuring the winners of the 2025 Business Excellence Awards. There are 13 episodes in total in this mini-series, so if you're at all curious about the other award recipients, then head over and check them out. We also have a new episode of Remarkable Regional Business dropping every fortnight, so please follow us wherever you get your podcasts. And finally, if you know someone who has or runs a great regionally based business and has a remarkable story to tell, then I would love to get them into the studio and tell it. You can dob them in at hebronfilms.com/podcast.